This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined by Ricky Hatton. We're here in Manchester today at the Warrington-Frampton undercard press conference. How are you, Ricky?
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
So you've got two fighters on this bill. You've got Nathan Gorman and Tommy Fury. How's it been in preparation for the fights?
Oh, brilliant. What a bill, an undercard, to be on, for a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old. So, brilliant, very excited for him. Tommy has his first fight, 4-rounder, he's only 19, so he's very, very early days. But I mean, for someone who's only had 8 amateur fights, 19 years of age, to win an undercard like that, he's going to get, a lot of nervousness. He's going to have to show a lot of character, but he will do. He's got that in abundance. And Nathan, his toughest test of his career, he's fighting a world title challenger. So where they're at in the gym at this stage of their training camp, I'm happy with. So everything couldn't be better.
Let's just talk about Nathan Gorman fighting Gorman-Leapai, somebody who's challenged for a world title. Actually sat down with Kevin Johnson when he was over to fight Daniel Dubois, and he said he's the hardest puncher he's ever been in the ring with. What's it like for Nathan to be challenging somebody like that at this stage of his career?
Yeah, I think it's his toughest test of the year was Sean Turner, and I said, listen, he's going to come and make you fight, so you're going to have to stand there and fight in the pocket, that, and that's what he did. We don't know what he did against Sean, but the better the test, the better he'll be. Do you know what I mean? He's a little bit. His last fight, his fight got cancelled, and he got put through no one's fault. You know what I mean? The opponent pulled out last minute, and we had to move him from another show to to that. So then he got a lad that he'd already boxed. He did his hand in the first round, so he was down in the dumps about it because he wanted to move on from the Turner fight, and through no fault of his own, he did his hand and he wasn't able to do that. So he's chomping at the bit, to shine in his biggest test. He shined in his biggest test against Turner. I think he'll do it against Leapai.
Now, we spoke about this last week in the gym at the media workout. Nathan, by his own admission and certainly by yours, wasn't at his best against Sokolovsky. A few things in the build-up, obviously opponents pulling out and whatnot. Do you think having an opponent like Leapai on a big bill like Warrington-Frampton is what he needs coming off the back of that?
Absolutely, because it's this is where he wants to be eventually. Manchester Arena, topping the bill for the world title, and he's he didn't have the experience as an amateur as me, but he's got the same sort of spirit. I boxed on Nassim Hamed's undercard when he boxed Kevin Kelly in Madison Square Garden. It wasn't daunting for me at all. I thought, this is where I will be in a few years. You watch me, and he's of the same, he's of the same, metal. That's where he wants to be. So there's a lot of trainers will say, "I've took a little bit of a chance with the opponent. We've took big venue, big arena." I don't feel that with Nathan. At the end of the day, it's just the opponent we've got to worry about. And I think Nathan's more than good enough to shine against him.
Something that was mentioned in the press conference was the British Boxing Board of Control mandate in Nathan Gorman versus Dubois for the English title. Seems to me, from the outside looking in at least, that it's a fight that Nathan is very, very, very keen to have, but potentially it's not shared elsewhere.
No, I don't think so. It's not disrespectful to Daniel. You know me. I'm not a disrespectful person, but I don't think Frank probably shares the enthusiasm. We do. I've been telling everybody we do. In all reality, these have both of them, Daniel and Nathan, have the qualities to go on to world level. So do two prospects want to fight for the British eliminate? Probably not. But the fight comes along, we won't knock it back. You know what I mean? Because we're confident in Nathan more than so. I can only do it from how I've seen Daniel perform, which is very, very impressive. More so in his last performance, he showed improvement. And seeing Nathan improve, and seeing Nathan in the gym every day. But Nathan has a little bit more knowledge to me of how the sparring went in the Great Britain squad, and that's why Nathan is. I think Nathan's getting a bit fed up of being asked the question, to be honest with you. And I mean, we're under no illusions. It'll be a hell of a tough fight. But it's one that me and Nathan aren't shying away from. So we're thinking the new year, we sit down and speak to Frank Warren, and Daniel will probably do the same with his team, and you would just see what happens. But it would be a shame really for it to. I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. But it'd be a shame to happen for the British Olympic, because I think they're both better than that, and they know it, and I know it, and Frank knows it. But we're not going to say we're not going to have it because we want it.
I spoke to Frank this week, and Frank said that he'd like that fight to be a 35,000, 40,000 seat at the stadium. Do you see the value
You're
in?
not going to get that for an British title eliminator, are you really?
I agree. Do you think that there's more value? I mean, from your role as a trainer, I'm assuming that you would see more value from a purely trainer perspective for them testing themselves early on in their career. Would that be right?
Well, to be honest, Daniel is getting more TV coverage, more media coverage, more every coverage, and I think it's pissing Nathan off because he believes he can beat him. So that's why Nathan believes that and I believe rather fight him now because where Daniel is probably seen as the next best prospect in Britain. Nathan knows if I beat him, then I become the next star of British boxing, not just in the heavyweights. If he was to beat Daniel Dubois, you'd have to say that is the man in any weight division, and that's why Nathan is keen to have it. So, but like you say, it's it's a fight that you should have a little bit further down the line. But I mean, Nathan believes he can beat him, so I mean, it is what it is. It's steady frustrating because we do want it, but when it's been ordered for the British title eliminator, you think, I know we want it, but we'll see what happens in the new year.
Tommy Fury, somebody who I've just spoken to before speaking with you, very calm, very relaxed, seems to be pretty much born to do this. I guess you will be with the last name Fury. You just mentioned earlier on in the interview that potentially there's going to be some nerves around there. Do you think that's going to be the case, or do you think the fact that he's been around it his entire life will work in his favour?
I think the fact that he's had Hughie and Tyson to look up to will help him, in his career. I think the fact that he's, but I think that you can just tell he's a confident character. He's not as he's not as verbally as Tyson. I mean, who is? But I mean, he's equally as confident, but just in a different way. So a lot of trainers could say, is this the right way? Is this the right show for him to make a kid who only had 8 amateur fights to make a debut on? But getting to know him, you work with fighters every day of your working life, so you get close to him, you get to know him, you get to know how they tick. And I have no qualms in letting Tommy get a fight on this bill, because I know if he performs like I know he can perform, you know what I mean. He's got the family, he's got the looks, he can talk well, he's got the ability, and I think if he shows what he's made of on the 22nd, I think everyone will want him on his show. So that it'll open bigger doors for him. It's a nice shop window for him to be on, and I think he knows that. So I think that's why we're going with it.
Now, I asked him appreciating the fact that he's only had 8 amateur fights, I asked him what his long-term goal was in the sport. He answered straight away, world champion. Is that realistic?
I think it is realistic, because I mean, a lot of people will take that a little bit more seriously when they see him. To be honest, it's a hell of a statement. I like his confidence. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to put pressure on him. But I mean, that's the attitude of the man. He wants to get to the world title. Well, that's my job to say yes. All right, no. Let's hold back. Let's take this chance. Let's just knock that one back at this stage. That is why he's with me and with Frank Warren. That's our job to turn around. Now's the time to move him up. Now's the time to hold him back. With him being such a baby, and I think he's got the right people in his corner to advise him when the time's right. But I mean, if he keeps, going the way he is and improving over the years, and the right fights at the right time, which he will have, there's no reason why he can't. Hughie and Tyson didn't have an abundance of amateur pedigree, massive pedigree. So, and look what it's in the genes, isn't it? Look what they've done. So there's no reason why we should be surprised that another Fury saying it.
Now, we've mentioned Tyson's name a few times in this interview. You're flying out to LA, Tommy, on Wednesday. Can you just explain kind of your role in the Fury camp, or in your role in Fury's corner? As I understand, you're going to be in his corner on fight night.
Well, I normally put the stool in, but but no, I've been a friend with Tyson for years. I think he sees me as an inspirational type of character to have in his corner, because I'm there as a friend. You know what I mean? I'm there for Ben to pick my ears in that 1 minute rest in between rounds. Obviously, Ben's the coach and he has the say, but he knows I'm there to whisper in the ear if he needs any help or advice or something like that. And I think that's the reason for Ben and Tyson having me in the corner. And they've been training at the Wild Card. They've gotten great with Freddie Roach, and they've got another one there, where Ben can whisper in the ears if he needs help. To be honest, if I've trained world champions and world champion and European champions, but in that minute in between rounds, if I had the opportunity to go down at Freddie Roach and another world and Tyson Fury, it's only going to stand you in good stead. Yeah.
What do you make of the addition of Freddie Roach to the training team? He's a cut man, I believe.
I don't know what his role is, to be honest. I've not spoke to Ben. I spoke to Ben about how Tyson's preparation's gone and how he's looking and that. But I mean, I've only seen on the internet that Freddie Roach is in the corner, and I've not spoke to Ben or Tyson regarding it. It can't be a bad thing, you know what I mean. But if he goes in for a cutsman or not a cutsman, he's a nice person. So if things aren't going to plan, what would you do, Freddie? Or what would you do, Ricky? What a wonderful position for Ben to be in, you know what I mean? Freddie Roach in your corner, I mean, he's forgot more than I know, Freddie as a coach. But no, I think it's a nice confidence thing, to have in your corner, to have, one of the greatest trainers of all time and a former world champion, you know what I mean? It can't be anything, can't be bad.
Okay, well, Ricky Hatton, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Always a pleasure catching up with you. See you next week in LA.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ricky. Thanks, mate.